Hello, and welcome back to week 2 of OMBA 580 Executive Leadership. This week, our theme is developing others, which essentially means what is the leader's role in developing future leaders for the organization. This week, we'll continue to have our focus on our text, Buckingham's First, Break All the Rules. And I'd like today to talk first about the assignments that will be due by 12 o'clock midnight on Wednesday of this week, and then we'll turn to the assignments that are due on Sunday at 12 o'clock. First, your first major paper is due during week 2, and it's a self-assessment based upon your responses to the 12 questions in First Break All the Rules from the perspective of someone that you either lead today, have led in the past, or might someday lead in the future. And it can be either from your business career, or it can be from your personal life, like a little league or a scout group or whatever. For those of you that have had supervisory kinds of roles, you can respond either from the role of someone who's currently leading or has led in the past. For those of you that have not had any supervisory experience or led any groups outside of work, you'll be needing to respond from the perspective of someone who is going to be leading a group or a group of individuals in the future. And that's the toughest perspective because you're going to have to be imagining what people would say to you. This paper, I gave an example in the syllabus of one question. It might go something like this. For the question, do I have what I need in order to do my job? If I, Dan, were responding to that question from the perspective of someone that I currently lead, I might begin the answer something like this. I would rate Dan a 4 on a scale from 1 to 5 on this question. Dan normally ensures that we have everything we need in order to get our jobs done, but occasionally we ask for example, up-to-date software that's costly and above his pay grade to approve. And when Dan escalates those requests, he gets a denial from senior management. So because there are things that are outside his control that he cannot approve, I'd give him a score of 4 on a scale from 1 to 5, but he could score a 5 if everything were within his control, because he sincerely tries to provide us everything we need to get our jobs done. That's an example of how you'll answer each of the 12 questions, not from the perspective of how you would rate your organization, but rather how someone who has reported to you, whom you're currently leading or whom you might lead in the future, would respond to each of those 12 questions about you. The question I get often is, can I actually poll my people and ask them what their opinions on these? Of course, that's a great way to do this, but be sure first to get your organization's approval to conduct a poll, to make sure that you can poll for that information anonymously, so that, for example, people aren't responding from their email addresses that would tell who said what. And third, be sure that you ask those that you're polling to not only rate you on a scale from 1 to 5, but also explain why they rated you the way they did on each of those 12 questions. Without the why, you have a rating, but you have no idea why people rated you the way you do, and you won't have much to write about. For this assignment, there's no video option, but for others that we'll talk about in just a moment, there will be. And for many of the assignments that are coming forward, there will be as well. So please post your paper to the appropriate discussion board at our week 2 Moodle website by Wednesday at 12 o'clock midnight. Second, again this week, there will be individual assigned article assignments, and I'll ask those students who were assigned specific articles to post their reviews of those articles by Wednesday at 12 o'clock midnight, and follow the criteria for those postings in our syllabus. And third, each learning team this week will post a research article this week on the topic of developing others. You can choose to do that either by posting a PowerPoint presentation or by going to the Moodle tutorial that I posted on our Moodle website and following the pretty easy instructions for embedding a video at our Moodle website. You can also just post a URL from YouTube if you want to lead us to a video that you've produced that deals with a research article for week 2. And finally, due by Wednesday at 12 o'clock midnight of this week, each learning team has been assigned a chapter in First Break All the Rules to review for us, and basically we'll be looking for you to summarize the main points of that chapter, and it can be either a PowerPoint presentation or a video that you produce, a YouTube style video that you produce and either embed or link us to through our course Moodle site. Now let's turn to what's due on Sunday by midnight, and first we want everyone to read and review the rest of First Break All the Rules, the rest of the chapters and the epilogue. Second, read your fellow students' self-assessments. There'll be quite a few of them, but I think you'll find it interesting to see how other students have responded to the assignment of answering the 12 questions from the perspective of either someone they currently lead, have led in the past, or might someday lead in the future. And I'm going to ask that by Sunday at midnight you post a response to at least one fellow student's self-assessment. And to me, a value-added post, a response, either asks or answers a question. It provides a URL or a link for us to go to find an article that you found that relates to the postings that have been made. It agrees with the post and perhaps gives examples from your own personal experience, or it disagrees and defines why you disagree with a posting that another student has made. What I discourage is postings like, I totally agree with so-and-so, or I couldn't have said it better. Those kinds of postings are not what I consider value-added postings, so I discourage them, and they will not count toward class participation for each week's assignments. Third, I'll ask that you review the individual assigned articles that have been posted by Wednesday at midnight and respond to at least one with, again, a value-added kind of a response. Fourth, I'll ask that you respond to the lead team research articles that have been posted, read them all, and respond to at least one with a value-added response. And finally, read or review, depending upon how they submit it, all of the learning team's First Break All the Rules chapter presentations, and choose one, at least one, to respond to with a value-added response. As you may have noticed, I've begun posting points in our gradebook at our Moodle site for your Class 1 assignments, and I'll be doing the same for week 2 next Monday for the postings made both on Wednesday and Sunday of this week. Again, if you need to contact me, you can either use the Ask Dr. Dan discussion board at our Moodle site, which is a public site, or you can write to me privately at my Baker email address, which is dan.falvey, F-A-L-V-E-Y, at bakeru.edu. And again, I check my Baker email at least daily, sometimes several times a day, so that's a better way to get a quick response from me. But I will respond publicly to the Ask Dr. Dan discussion board every other day or so. Next week, we'll be through with First Break All the Rules, and we'll begin working from the Leadership Compendium of Harvard Business Review articles. And you will read articles based on talent and talent management and succession planning. There'll be more individual assigned article reviews and another learning team research article. One learning team will present on a specific topic, the topic for week 3, and everyone will review and post responses to the postings made on Wednesday of next week. I hope you have a great week, and I'll be looking for your work online.